there, Flosstube. It's Brittany again. Long time no see. A lot has changed since I spoke with you last. If you look behind me, you'll notice I'm in a new space. That's because my show closed and I traveled back to New York City. I actually drove from Illinois, where I was doing my show, to Kansas, which was about 6 hours. Stayed there for a week and helped my parents pack up their house because they were moving as well. And then drove 20 hours from Kansas to New York City. I stopped. Don't worry, I'm not that crazy. But it was quite a trip. I do have a lot of progress to show though, so I'm excited to get started with that. However, I do want to give a sort of warning about my future videos that I take here. This is my room in New York City. The elevated subway platform and tracks are about 30 feet that way, so it can be a little noisy. I'm used to it by now, but I wanted to warn you guys that if you hear a loud rumbling noise, it is the subway. Never fear. Well, let's get started, I guess. I have 2 finishes. The first finish I don't have with me, so I'll put in a picture. This is the birthday gift that I stitched for my sister. It is a mashup of the Pokemon Pikachu and the animal Springhas that she works with at her zoo. She was very pleased with it. She had requested either a Springhas or a Pikachu, so she was kind of surprised and tickled when she saw that it was a mashup of the 2 of them. What I changed in the original image from the game is I gave the Pikachu a different tail, and I changed the colors to be a little more natural and gave him, you know, the lighter belly and the dark tail tip, just like the Springhas has. I think it turned out pretty cute. She was very pleased with it, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. The second finish I have is my Love is the Key pattern by Scissortail Designs. I thought I was going to have to look at it, but I remembered at the last minute. Scissortail Designs, and here it is. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out, and I guess technically it's not a finish yet. I'm planning on adding the initials of the bride and groom right here, and the date of the wedding down here. I haven't done that yet, but I thought it might as well count as a finish for us here on Flosstube, because I don't know that I'd want to be showing that to everyone in the world anyway. But yeah, it turned out really nice. The garnet, I know I was dissatisfied with it at first, the Weeks Dye Works garnet that this is stitched in, but I think it did turn out rather lovely and very subtle. I think it's cute. And it actually, once I got the new thread that I needed, it went by really, really quickly, and I finished pretty much what you would have seen in my last whip video to here. I finished in one evening. I got the rest of it done. So it was a very quick stitch and very easy and very pretty, so I would recommend it to anyone. That's Love is the Key by Scissortail Designs. So those were my 2 finishes for this month, or this period of time. I'm not quite sure how long it's been. So I'll move on to my whips. My first whip that I'm going to share with you is my Emerald Mermaid, which I am doing as part of the Mrs. Milky Bar Kid Mirabilia Stitch Along for 2015. I started her on January 1st, and this is where I'm at now. I just think she is turning out beautifully. I have the entire body / tail done, I'm fairly certain, except for the metallic and for the beads. And I started on her skin. I thought for a while about whether I wanted to try 1/1 or if I wanted to just do it 2/2, but I decided in the end that this project is a lot of firsts for me. It's my first project on linen. It's my first Mirabilia. It's my first attempt with metallic threads. It'll be my first piece with a lot of beading. I thought, why not challenge yourself even more and attempt the 1/1 stitching? So I did, and I have to tell you, as weird as this is going to sound, I'm obsessed. I love the way the tiny stitches look, and I love to stitch them, and I'm really excited about the way it's turning out. I'm going to try and give you a close-up on it, but I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. But now I understand why people stitch the skin in 1/1. And if it wouldn't take a gazillion years, and if I hadn't already had so much work done, I would seriously consider doing an entire piece in 1/1, just because I love the way it looks. And I just think it would be so pretty. But yeah, she's coming along. I'm excited. There it is. My next whip is one that you, I'm sure, have been seeing around a lot. It is the Frosted Pumpkin Storytime Sampler. And I have a finished March to show you. I finished Sherlock Holmes. I have the April frame ready, but I have not attempted to stitch that one yet. So here's the whole thing, and here hopefully is a close-up of Sherlock Holmes himself. Those of you that have seen other people working on this, or you have worked on it yourself, will notice that there is a big difference, and that difference is I turned the teapot into a violin. Sherlock Holmes in the novel is said to have had a Stradivarius violin, which is a very expensive and very well-known and high-quality violin from a maker who lived a long, long time ago. And he was said, this is something funny I found out when looking this up, because I wanted to make sure that in the original novels he played the violin. I had remembered it, but I wanted to make sure. But it turns out that Arthur Conan Doyle never said Sherlock was an accomplished or skilled violin player, just that he had a very particular and unique way of playing. So that could mean it could mean he was very good, but it also could mean that he just, I guess, played in his own way, which I think is kind of funny to think about. One of the reasons I chose to include the violin in this block is that I played the viola, and I played the viola from 5th grade to 12th grade in my school orchestra, and I always feel a kinship with other people who've played stringed instruments. Have any of you guys played in a band or orchestra or play an instrument? I'm always intrigued to hear what kind of other musical skills people have, just because music is such a big part of my life, and I feel like it's something that connects a lot of people. So you're welcome to answer that question, or if you don't play an instrument, that's okay too. Maybe you should pick one up. It's quite fun to be able to practice and play music, I think. My last whip I'm going to try and get done before I have to cut the video, because my camera's going to stop recording after 10 minutes, and then I am going to restart it and pick back up. So let me hurry and show you Hope Owl. As you can see, I've continued with the back stitching. I got all of the left side finished, and I got this flower motif done, and I'm working on that branch in the bottom and going up to the other flowers that I haven't gotten done yet, and then I'll be on the owl, which is so exciting. The end is near. Hooray! Not only did I finish 2 pieces this month, but I started 2 new pieces as well. One of them is my next wedding gift. Since I finished one, I thought I should get started on the next one, and that one is Forever Love by Silver Creek Samplers. This is what it will look like in the end. And this is what I have so far. I don't have too much finished yet because I just started this last weekend. But I have the whole first word, love, on it. And I'm actually really liking how this piece is turning out already. All of the threads suggested by the pattern are Weeks Dye Works, except for one, which is a Gentle Art sampler. And each of them just has really, really beautiful variegation to it, and noticeable variegation. And after stitching Love is the Key with the garnet, which is very subtle, it's nice to see this and to actually see the variegation and know that I think I'm doing it the right way. So I'm excited to get this one, to stitch on this one some more. It's coming along very quickly, and I think it'll be a very quick stitch. It's not terribly large, and it's just really pretty. That's what I think about all my stitches. And my other start that I have is another Pokemon. When I posted the picture of my first Pokemon stitch on Facebook, one of my other friends who also really likes Pokemon saw it and thought it was pretty cool, so I offered to stitch her one. And she ended up picking Dragonite, which is a Pokemon that my friend who I made the original Pokemon cross-stitch for also wanted me to make as the additional 5 that I was going to make him, so he could have 6 total. And there are 2 Dragonite pictures from the game, which I am going to do, and I got started on the first one. I thought it would be fun to do the first one, get all the black done, and then do the second one, get all the black done, and then do each color and see them kind of progress side by side. They're very similar sprites, very similar pictures, but they're also different. But anyway, here's the first one. If you know what Dragonite looks like, you may be able to tell what part of this it is. It's his foot and his tail. But yeah, I don't have too much started on him yet. I only started last night because I went to Michael's and got some more Ada, and I got threads that I need to finish these 2 Dragonites. Speaking of going to Michael's, I bought something kind of exciting there as well. I walked through the Otlite aisle, and it just so happened that they were having one of them on clearance, and so I bought one. I would have never spent the money on it, but since it was on clearance, I did. And I got this beautiful blue Otlite with the flexible neck. And it's, like, really, you can, like, I'm amazed at how flexible this neck is. And you just tap the base and it turns on. And it has, of course, the brightness level, or the dimness level, which I think is pretty cool. And it's small enough, I think, in the future, if I do want to take it on a contract with me, it would be possible. I saw their travel slash little clip-on lights, and that might be an option for me in the future, too, if I need it. And speaking of stash, I have 2 new patterns to show. When I ordered the extra thread that I needed for Love is the Key, I added in a couple patterns since I was paying for shipping anyway. And they were both from my wish list. The first one is an Easter pattern that I have been wanting for a long time. I didn't get to stitch it this year, but hopefully next year I will. It's called the Chocolate Bunny Sampler by Casey Buonaugurio. She does the most adorable samplers with different kinds of desserts, cakes, and pies, and all kinds of things. And this is the one that I just fell in love with for whatever reason. I love chocolate to begin with, and just the eggs and the kisses and then the chocolate bunny at the bottom, I just thought it was the most adorable thing ever. And I heard, I think from a fellow Flosstuber, that maybe this designer was getting out of the business because of copyright issues that she's been having with people sharing her patterns without paying for them online. And I don't know what that means for what she has in print now, but I thought I might as well get this just in case. So now I have it, and I'm so excited to stitch it in the future because it's just so cute. The other pattern I got is called Petite Rainbow Row, and it's by CW Designs. Now, if you're not aware, this line of houses is called Rainbow Row. It's located in Charleston, South Carolina. I spent part of my life living in South Carolina, and my parents would take us to visit a lot of the local areas, including Charleston, and it's one of my mother's most favorite places in the entire world, or at least that she's been to. And this row of houses is just a very iconic part of Charleston. She has a print of a painting, a big painting of the Rainbow Row houses, and I thought for her birthday in June that I would stitch this one. There's a bigger version of Rainbow Row by I think the same people, but I decided I would go with the smaller one. They just moved into a condo versus a house, so I know that they won't have quite the space, and it would be easier to get something smaller like this framed than something bigger. And the last thing I want to share today is my Ort Jar. I started this in February, so it's not quite for the whole year, but I saw a lot of other stitchers collecting their orts, and I just thought that it was a cute idea. And I love that you can kind of see the layers of what you've been stitching on. For example, that orange you see is from my hot sauce design. All of the maroon burgundy color you see is from Love is the Key. And there's some brown on top from my new Love sampler, and it's just fun to be able to look at. So I'm excited to keep adding to this the rest of the year. I believe that is all I wanted to share. I've been enjoying listening and watching your videos for the past few weeks, although I couldn't make my own until today. And I hope that this video finds everybody well and able to get some great stitching done now that hopefully the weather is going to turn around and become more spring-like. I'm excited for that. That's for sure and for certain. Thanks for all of your subscribes, thank you for all of your likes, and thank you for all of your comments. It means a lot when I get to go on and I see people have enjoyed watching my videos, and I just love being able to talk to someone about my stitching and to share that love and desire with all of you. So happy stitching, everybody. Until next time.